Hey everyone, this is Steven here, back at it again with another video. In today's video, we're going to look at the top 10 hottest and coldest NFL football cards over the past 7 days. But before we get into that, if you enjoy this type of content and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. So now that we got all of that out of the way, we can get into the actual video here. I did want to say that I hope everyone is having a great week so far and getting ready for the weekend ahead of us. We have playoff football officially starting. There's a lot of good games both on Saturday and Sunday that I'm pretty excited about. I think I'm most excited to watch the San Francisco 49ers against the Dallas Cowboys. I just think that that's going to be a pretty exciting game. So that's one I'm really looking forward to, but I am also excited for pretty much all the games this weekend. I thought it'd be fun to just take a look at the NFL football sports card market real quick and just take a look at some of the players that have gone up the most and also down the most heading into the playoffs, as that is starting in a couple of days. For this, I am going to be using market movers. I did add a couple filters on this. So for this, we're only going to be looking at football cards, graded cards only. So this could be PSA, could be Beckett, could also be SGC. So this is just graded cards only and not specific on a grade or a grader. So this is just total graded cards. And then I also have a filter on the number of sales, which is 10 over the past 7 days. And then I am filtering on rookie cards only. So this list will only contain rookie cards. We're going to start off like we normally do with cards that have gone down the most over the past week. And then we're going to switch over to cards that have gone up the most over the past week. So let's get started off here with breezing through some of the cards that have gone down the most over the past week. The first one leading off here is Travis Kelce, tight end on the Kansas City Chiefs. His 8 rookie card portfolio is down about 4%, so minor decrease over the past week. This could really change heading into the playoffs depending on how the Chiefs and also how Travis Kelce does in the playoffs. Next up, we have an interesting one here in Tom Brady. His rookie card portfolio is down about 4% over the past week. The Bucs have had a couple of injuries to the wide receivers and also Leonard Fournette, the running back, but he should be back heading into the playoffs. So that's another one to look out for heading into the playoffs if you have high conviction in Tom Brady and also on the Tampa Bay Bucs. But as of right now, over the past week, his rookie card portfolio is down about 4%. Then we have J.K. Dobbins, running back on the Baltimore Ravens, down about 4%. He was out for the whole season with an injury. Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver on the Denver Broncos, down about 5%. Brandon Ayuk, who's actually had a decent second half of the season. He is the wide receiver on the San Francisco 49ers, who did recently make the playoffs and have a big game against the Dallas Cowboys coming up this weekend. But in turn, his rookie card portfolio is down about 5% over the past week. DK Metcalf, wide receiver on the Seahawks, his rookie card portfolio is down about 5% as well. The Seattle Seahawks did not make the playoffs, so he is currently entering his offseason. His cards could continue to trend down throughout the offseason, as he is most likely not going to be making any headlines, as the Seattle Seahawks are not currently in the playoffs. Deion Sanders, a legend here, his rookie card portfolio is down about 6%. I'm going to scroll up here. Next up, we have Derrick Henry. This one's a little interesting here. His rookie card portfolio is down about 6% over the past week. The Titans did clinch a bye in the AFC, and it is expected that he will return for week 2 in the playoffs. So he's actually coming back to help the Titans out in the playoffs, but still in turn, his rookie card portfolio is down about 6% over the past week. We have Jordan Love. This one's expected here, down about 7% over the past week. He did not look very good when he came in for the second half against the Detroit Lions, the last game of the season. In turn, his rookie card portfolio down 7%. Another legend here with Troy Aikman, down 7% as well. Then we have Kyler Murray heading into the playoffs. His rookie card portfolio is down about 7%. This one's another interesting one to keep an eye on if you have high conviction in the Cardinals or Kyler Murray. This card could see a spike if they end up beating the Rams and advancing further into the playoffs, but also it could continue to trend down if they end up with a first round exit against the Rams. So this is another one to keep an eye on, just depending on how much conviction you have in the Arizona Cardinals and also Kyler Murray. Next up, we have Colin Kaepernick, another interesting one here, down about 7% over the past week. I'm going to keep scrolling up. Jonathan Taylor, down about 8%, as he's most likely not going to win the MVP this year. And also the Indianapolis Colts did not make the playoffs. They ended up losing to the Jaguars, so they did not make the playoffs this year. So in turn, his rookie card portfolio down 8%. Barry Sanders, another legend here, down 8%. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, running back on the Kansas City Chiefs, down 8%. We have Mike Evans. This one's also kind of interesting. His rookie card portfolio down about 9%. He recently went over 1,000 yards receiving, which is 8 seasons in a row. But still, in turn, even though the Bucs made the playoffs and he is the best wide receiver currently available on the Bucs, his rookie card portfolio is still down about 9% heading into the playoffs. Another interesting one, we have Jacob Eason down about 9%. Then we have Jimmy G down 9%, even though the San Francisco 49ers did make the playoffs. And then we have Randy Moss down 10%, another legend there. John Elway, another legend, down 11% over the past week. Then we have Gardner Minshew on the Philadelphia Eagles, the backup over there, down about 13%. He was the starter in the last game of the season for the Eagles as they rested the majority of their starters, and they ended up getting destroyed by the Cowboys. So in turn, it looks like his rookie card portfolio down about 13%. Then we have Jerry Rice down 13%. So we are seeing some of the bigger retired and Hall of Fame players, their cards are actually trending down over the past week, it looks like, with Jerry Rice down 13%. Then we have Reggie White down 15%. We have Michael Thomas, wide receiver on the New Orleans Saints, down about 16% over the past week. The player that has gone down the most over the past week is actually Carson Wentz, down about 19%, which really makes sense because the Colts had to win one of their last 2 games to clinch a playoff spot. They ended up losing both of those games, and then one of those was to the Jaguars. A lot of that had to do with the poor performance of Carson Wentz down the stretch. So in turn, the Colts did not make the playoffs, and Carson Wentz's cards are down about 19% over the past week. So now that we looked at some of the cards that have gone down the most over the past week, we're going to switch over to some of the cards that have gone up the most over the last week, and this is going to be heading into the playoffs. So we're going to start the list off here with the 2% gainer. We have Big Ben Roethlisberger on quarterback on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They ended up clinching a playoff spot with the Colts losing that last game to the Jags. A couple other things needed to happen. They did end up taking care of their own business and also making the playoffs. So in turn, Big Ben got a 2% increase over the past week. They do have to play the Chiefs, and they're pretty big underdogs in that game, so that's another interesting game to look out for. I want to say that they are 13-point underdogs heading into week 1 against the Kansas City Chiefs. Next up, we have Nick Bosa on the San Francisco 49ers. His cards are up about 3% over the past week. Then we have Chase Young, defensive end on the Washington football team, up about 3% as well. Dan Marino, now here's a legend that's actually going up over the past week, so that's 3% gain for Dan Marino. Then we have Baker Mayfield. In his cards, it looks like they're going to be up about 3%. I know that their owner and GM both came out and said that he will be the starting quarterback next year. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does look like they did publicly state that they're going to stick with Baker for another year. So in turn, he did get a little spike there with 3%. A.J. Dillon, running back on the Green Bay Packers, up about 3%. Michael Pittman Jr., his cards are actually up about 4%, even though the Colts, with Jonathan Taylor and also Carson Wentz, their cards being down pretty significantly since they did not make the playoffs. But we do have Michael Pittman Jr. and his cards up about 4%. We have Calvin Ridley, wide receiver on the Atlanta Falcons, who took the majority of the season off due to mental health concerns there, but his cards are actually up about 4%. Hunter Renfrow, wide receiver on the Las Vegas Raiders, has had a very under-the-radar season this year. Him and Derek Carr have developed a pretty good connection, especially with their tight end Darren Waller out, but in turn, his rookie card portfolio is up about 5% as the Las Vegas Raiders did end up making the playoffs. Then we have Julio Jones, wide receiver now on the Tennessee Titans. His rookie card portfolio up about 5%. And he's really struggled this year with being able to stay on the field. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, but the Titans did clinch up that number 1 seed and ended up getting a bye. Next up, we had Jared Stidham, and his rookie card portfolio is up about 5%. I'm not sure what's going on there. CeeDee Lamb on the Dallas Cowboys, his rookie card portfolio up about 6%. He's had another pretty solid year for the Dallas Cowboys this year, and the Cowboys did make the playoffs. They have a pretty big game against the 49ers this week. Deebo Samuel, who continues to have an amazing year this year on the San Francisco 49ers. He is a wide receiver, but he's also been playing a little bit of running back as of late, and in turn, his rookie card portfolio up about 6%. Some of that probably has to do with a combination of his on-the-field play and as well as the 49ers making the playoffs. Next up, we have Jared Goff, quarterback of the Detroit Lions, who did not make the playoffs this year, but his rookie card portfolio is still up about 8% over the past week. Then we have Devontae Adams, star wide receiver on the Green Bay Packers, who ended up clinching the number 1 seed in the NFC, so they have a bye, but his rookie card portfolio up about 13%, with the Packers being favorites to win the Super Bowl. And then we have Drew Lock, up 14%, Rob Gronkowski, who's had a couple pretty decent back-to-back games on the Bucks. His rookie card portfolio is up about 16%. Cooper Kupp continued his amazing season this year with the Rams. He did not beat Calvin Johnson's single-season receiving yard record, but still an amazing season for Cooper Kupp. And in turn, his rookie card portfolio is up about 17%. They have another pretty big game this week. Week 1 of the playoffs against the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be another very entertaining game. Then next up we have Chase Claypool up about 29%, so close to a 30% gain for Chase Claypool and his rookie card portfolio. The Pittsburgh Steelers did end up making the playoffs, so that probably has something to do with these cards seeing a pretty big bump over the past week or so. And then the biggest winner over the past week is actually Josh Jacobs, running back on the Las Vegas Raiders. And his rookie card portfolio is actually up about 41%, so pretty big price increase for Josh Jacobs and his rookie cards over the past week. And this is a Raider team that really picked it up down the stretch, even though their team dealt with a lot of adversity throughout the season. But in turn, it does look like Josh Jacobs' rookie cards are up about 41% over the past week, which is the biggest winner over the past week. So that concludes today's list of the top 10 hottest and coldest NFL football cards. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more in the future, please feel free to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.